What if an electron is not a tiny dot at all, but a loop of energy forced to keep running in circles to stay alive? In the energy filament theory, the electron is a small ring carved out of an underlying energy sea, and its stability comes not from solid substances but from continuous motion. Textbooks sketch it as a zero-size point or a tiny bead, yet that picture cannot really explain its mass, its charges, or why electric and magnetic fields form around it. A mathematical point cannot tighten the sea around it, cannot pick out directions, and cannot make a magnetic swirl. Instead, imagine the electrons as a little hula hoop of energy on the surface of an endless ocean. The sea presses in on it from all sides, squeezing it into a closed ring, and the only way it avoids being crushed, flattened and dissolved back into the sea is by endlessly running around its own loop. If the ring stopped, the surrounding sea would simply press it out of existence. Keep running is its mode of existence. That is why the electron is so central. It is not just one more particle. It is the master template that shows you how the whole particle world is built. Now look at its key traits one by one. First, mass is not stuff filling the inside. It is how strongly the ring has cinched the local sea. The harder the electron ring pulls the sea tight around itself, the more work you must do to shove that configuration across the sea. That resistance to being pushed is what you feel as masses. In this language, mass is a measure of tension coupling, not of hidden material inside a dot. Second, charge is not a mysterious label stuck on the particle. It is the way the ring pulls inward versus outward on the sea. The inner side of the electron ring pulls the sea towards the center slightly more, creating an inward bias, a tendency for surrounding patterns to lean in. On the large scale, that inward pull shows up as what we call negative charge. Positive charge comes from another kind of ring structure whose pull pushes patterns outward instead of inward. But that is another story. You can think of charge as the direction of the pulling scar the ring leaves in the sea. Third, the electric field is just the straight texture the ring draws by pulling in a steady way. As the electron runs around its loop, it tugs the sea in a nearly uniform pattern, repeatedly pulling along the same directions, and over time that carves out straight, radial lines of tighter tension extending around it. Those lines are what we call electric field lines. Put two electrons near each other and their lines overlap. If the lines in a region point the same way, the sea has to tighten in a conflicting manner and the patterns push apart, which we call like charges repelling. If an inward pulling pattern meets an outward pulling one, their scars mesh like teeth on gears, and the sea can relax by drawing them together, which we describe as opposite charges attracting. Fourth, the magnetic field is the electric field being dragged into a spiral when the ring moves through the sea, when the electron is not just circling on the spot but also drifting through the sea. Its straight electric lines are pulled sideways, curling into spirals the way your hand dragging through water pulls a straight ripple into a vortex behind it. That curled pattern is the magnetic field. Magnetic force is not a separate new kind of push. It is what electric texture looks like when the source pattern is in motion. Put all of this together and the entire electromagnetic story shrinks to one core picture, a small energy ring running laps in a stretchy sea. Its continuous tightening of the sea shows up as mass. Its inward versus outward pull shows up as charge. The straight scars it draws are the electric fields. The same scars twisted by motion are the magnetic field. Its long-term stability is nothing but the fact that the ring never stops running. The electron matters so much because this is not an odd exception. It is the basic blueprint for particles in general. Once you really understand the electron as a ring mode of the sea, you have a unified handle on where mass comes from, why charge exists, how electric and magnetic fields are born, and what it even means for a particle to exist as a stable pattern. An electron is not a little rock. It is a loop of the energy sea pulled into a ring and condemned to run forever. And every microscopic property you measure, mass, charge, electric field, magnetic field, is just a different face of that same circling, tightening, patterning motion. Tap follow, share it on New Physics, Clear Universe.